Antonio Gibson is a weapon. He is a pure weapon. He's not a wide receiver. He's not a running back. He's a weapon. And you know what? The Eagles need weapons. Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Dingbat here. So today we have come with the hell is that? It's a big ass dog. Dallas still stinks. Yo, everybody doing? King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. We are just over a week away from the NFL draft. Probably going to be rated the highest NFL draft in terms of people watching in the history of the NFL. I mean, what else do you have to watch? At this point, I think everybody has watched every possible thing that they're going to. I mean, there's only two things I have left to watch. The season finale of Better Call Saul, and then this show I'm watching, The Skinwalker Ranch. It's kind of crazy, but you know, I like all that kind of weird stuff. But other than that, there's nothing. So the draft is going to be fantastic, and I will be streaming the draft live just to remind you guys. I cannot wait. It's going to be fun. Now, I'm starting to see some things that I really like. I'm starting to see some signs from mock drafts, from people talking, some chatter, some things that I've been waiting all season to hear. Things like the Eagles jumping up in the draft. Like somehow Henry Ruggs landing to the Eagles. You know, that's my dream. I think it was, who was it? ESPN just did a draft, and they had Henry Ruggs fall to the Eagles. I love that. That would be like a dream come true. For him to fall at 21, look, I could do so much. If he fell to 21 without having to trade a pick to get him, then I trade up in the second round, snag somebody else. Oh yeah, double dip the wide receivers. You gotta double dip the wide receivers, no question about it. However, this video isn't about just the wide receivers and stuff. This is more about the offense and the running back position, because let's face it, okay? You don't just have weapons in the NFL that are just outside wide receivers. You know, we talk a lot about it because the Eagles need it, but you can get weapons at running back, you get weapons at tight end, you can get weapons all over the place, you know, and the Eagles are going to need to add another running back. And from what we're hearing, the Eagles are looking at adding maybe a bigger back late in this draft, and I think that would be perfect. And one guy I would like the Eagles to consider is Antonio Gibson. Now, you're going to say to me, well, he's a wide receiver. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to answer you back that I don't think so. I don't think he's just a wide receiver. I think this guy is a Swiss Army knife. I think you can use him in multiple ways. I think that he could play running back. I think he could play wide receiver. I think you can move him all over the field, and I think he's going to cause teams a lot of grief. And if you add a guy like that, a weapon like this, I think would be unbelievable. And he's what? 6 foot, 228 pounds. Some places say he's 6'3". The NFL.com says he's 6 foot, so I'm going to go with that. 228 pounds, ran a 4.39, I believe, at the combine. The guy's fast. The guy's spectacular. He's a playmaker. He's a game breaker. He's a difference maker. And if I'm the Eagles, even if I draft wide receiver in the first round, wide receiver in the second round, I would seriously give thought to coming back in the third round and taking Antonio Gibson. Because the way I see it, with him, you can use him in all types of ways, in the red zones, on special teams. And to have a guy that you can insert in and out of the lineup, I think it would be great. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to be starting for you, but he's a guy that can come in and do different things. And I think if you can go out and get him, you got to do it. You have to do it. I'm going to put the link in the description to his highlights. Let you guys go watch him who haven't seen him. I know many of you guys like him also, but I think that the Eagles should definitely consider him. But, you know, he's not a receiver in my opinion. I know some people think he is. I don't think he is. When I view him, I almost view him more as a running back. To me, that's what he looks like, a running back with the ability to go and play wide receiver. That's kind of how I see Antonio Gibson, and I think that's going to be the best fit for him at the next level. If he lands with a team that has a good coach, that knows how to use him, those kind of things, he could be a real difference maker for a team. No question about it. Now, if the Eagles don't get him, let's say third round comes, they go somewhere else, right? One of the guys I would like to see the Eagles get maybe like in the 4th round is A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon's a beast. He's a beast. He's big. He's fast. Now, the only problem I see with A.J. Dillon and the Eagles not liking him is he doesn't really catch the ball out of the backfield well. Can he work on it? Can he do it and just not given enough opportunities? I don't know. But when you talk about the Eagles running back situation, you have Miles Sanders, you have Boston Scott, and then you have Elijah Holyfield. Now, I'm interested to see what Elijah Holyfield could do. He deserves a chance, but you got to still add somebody else to compete. You know what I mean? And if you added A.J. Dillon, he's big and he's fast, and he can get you those short yardage situations, 3rd and short, red zone offense. He can do those kind of things. And he's got the ability to break it at any time. He's that fast, To me, the problem with him is going to be that when he comes in the game, does every defense know that they're not going to throw to him, that it's a running down? See, that's the whole thing. And that's what they didn't like about Jordan Howard, was that it's very obvious that when he's on the field, you're probably not going to throw to him. Even though the Eagles did throw to him a couple times, and he did have, he caught the ball. He had a touchdown against Green Bay. So it can happen. I would risk it. I would take a chance. I would take a definite chance on A.J. Dillon. And if I could say 2 guys in the mid-rounds that I would love to see the Eagles land, Antonio Gibson or A.J. Dillon. And the reason I say it is because I think that those guys, though they won't be full-time starters, they are still weapons. They are still weapons. And if A.J. Dillon, a big physical back, can be on the Eagles, he's just another element in that running game that is a weapon. Then, of course, I love Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is a stud. But add a guy like A.J. Dillon would be fantastic. Antonio Gibson, it's all about how you use him and the kind of imagination and creativity and offense can come up with to use him. But if the Eagles did that, he's going to do damage on a team if he goes to the right team. It's all about going to the right team. Like if he ends up in New Orleans, if he ended up in Kansas City, if he ended up even in New England, he's going to do a lot of damage. And I think if the Eagles could get him, I think he could do a lot of damage for the Eagles too. So Antonio Gibson, A.J. Dillon are 2 guys that I would love to see the Eagles get. Like I said, I think the Eagles are going to definitely add a running back some point in this draft. I think between the mid to late rounds. I don't think that the Eagles are going to go out and sign like a LaShawn McCoy. I'm sure you guys have seen the interview by now with LaShawn McCoy talking to Ian Rappaport. He was talking about how it would be a dream for him to come back to Philly. I don't think that's going to happen, okay? And I don't think it needs to happen. I think the Eagles just need to add a back late. And I trust the Eagles when it comes to running backs, okay? So here's the big difference, right? Like I kill Howie Roseman receivers. I kill him on receivers because he can't draft a receiver to save his life. And it scares the hell out of me, him picking wide receivers and putting it on him, the biggest draft in wide receiver history. It scares the hell out of me. However, when it comes to running backs, I think the Eagles do a fairly good job. If you look at guys like Miles Sanders, right? Boston Scott's now on his team. You had Corey Clement. The Eagles have had a lot of guys over the years that were running backs that may have been undrafted running backs that came in with Deuce Staley there, and he's developed them. So I think the Eagles can do that with running back. I think mid to late rounds, you take one. Now, I think the Antonio Gibson thing is very intriguing to me just because of how diverse he is and what he can do to a team. A.J. Dillon, I just think, is a great compliment to Miles Sanders, as long as you can find a way to use him in the passing game at least a little bit, at least to keep defenses honest. Some other guys late could be Zach Moss. One guy I really like is Eno Benjamin. I think that kid's got a lot of pop. Now, he's not really a short yardage back, I don't think. I think he's more of a big play guy, but I would like to see him added late as well. That would be great. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly what the Eagles do at the running back position. I expect them to at least add one guy late in the draft, and then maybe an undrafted rookie free agent, which they've had tremendous success. Howie and the Eagles do a great job finding running backs. I have no issue, no fear of that. And, and let me just say this. Because I have no fear of the way that they draft running backs, I don't care if they take one mid, late. I'm not asking for Jonathan Taylor, DJ Swift. I'm not asking for any of those guys because I trust that they know how to pick a running back. Okay? I wish I could say the same for them at wide receiver because if they could pick receivers, I would trust them to pick ones, in the mid rounds. But because I don't, they got to go get the best. They got to go get the best. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What running backs do you like? What do you expect the Eagles to do at that position? Take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.